Fur is the hair-covered skin of a mammal, a natural shield against the elements. For animals, it's insulation and protection, a product of evolution's ingenuity. Early humans, lacking thick body hair, turned to fur for survival during the Ice Ages. They observed animals thriving in the cold and learned to use their pelts for warmth. Turning raw hides into wearable garments was one of humanity's first technological feats. Tanning with natural substances made pelts soft, durable and essential for survival. Fur clothing allowed humans to spread across the globe, enduring harsh climates. This relationship with fur is woven into our history, a symbol of our dependence on nature. Wearing fur was once a practical solution, a direct link to the animals we relied on. The warmth of a bearskin cloak was life itself, a barrier against the cold. This was the beginning of a story that would evolve into one of luxury, controversy, and ethics. As societies advanced, fur's meaning shifted from survival to status. Wearing rare or dangerous animal pelts became a sign of power and prestige. In ancient Egypt, leopard skins signified royalty. In Rome, ermine-trimmed togas marked high office. Throughout Europe, sumptuary laws dictated who could wear which furs, reinforcing social hierarchies. Only royalty wore ermine. Nobles wore sable or fox. Commoners were restricted to humble pelts. Fur became a visual language of rank and wealth, sometimes as valuable as gems or land. The quest for fur drove exploration and conquest, especially in North America's beaver trade. This trade built fortunes and empires, but also devastated animal populations and indigenous communities. Fur was no longer just clothing. It became currency, motive for war, and a force shaping history. Its symbolism and value transformed societies across continents. Fur's journey from necessity to high fashion is a tale of constant reinvention. Early garments were simple, shaped by the animal's pelt, prized for warmth and raw beauty. As tailoring advanced, fur became a fabric for elegant, fashionable silhouettes. The 1920s brought long, slender coats. The 1950s, Hollywood glamour and mink stoles. Designers began dyeing fur in bold colors, shearing it for new textures, and mixing types for artistic effect. Fur evolved into a canvas for creativity, reflecting changing tastes and social attitudes. The full-length mink coat faded as a status symbol, replaced by more casual, accessible fur accents. Fur-trimmed collars, gloves, and handbags made the trend available to more people. This adaptability kept fur relevant even as controversy grew. Fur fashion continually reinvents itself, balancing tradition and innovation. The story of fur is inseparable from the animals themselves. Different cultures prized different species for unique qualities. Caribou and seal for Arctic survival, sable for Russian luxury. Sable's silky fur was so valued it was called soft gold, driving Russian expansion. In North America, beaver pelts fueled the hat industry and colonial ambitions. The 20th century crowned mink as the luxury standard, leading to large-scale farming and selective breeding. Fox fur, especially silver and Arctic, became a staple of high fashion. The pursuit of rare furs, leopard, ocelot, chinchilla, pushed species toward extinction. Chinchilla, with the densest fur, became a symbol of ultimate softness and fragility. The demand for beauty and status has often come at a steep cost to biodiversity. The animals behind fur garments reveal both human ingenuity and the industry's darker side. For centuries, fur was sourced from wild animals, but the late 1800s brought fur farming. Farms allowed control over supply, quality, and breeding for desirable traits. Mink became the primary farmed species, making fur more accessible and affordable. Fur farming turned a wild resource into an agricultural commodity. Meanwhile, synthetic faux furs emerged, especially after the invention of acrylic fibers in the 1950s. Faux fur offered the look without animal products, appealing to new consumer values. The industry now balanced farmed fur and synthetics, each with its own supporters. Fur farming was seen as more sustainable than trapping, but animal rights groups championed faux fur as ethical. The debate shifted from wilderness to questions of agriculture, industry, and modern ethics. The way we produce fur has forever changed the conversation. The modern animal rights movement targeted fur as a symbol of unnecessary cruelty. Activists used protests and shocking campaigns to challenge fur's image of glamour. The "I'd rather go naked than wear fur" campaign marked a turning point in public perception. Environmental concerns also grew. Fur farming produces waste and uses toxic chemicals. Faux fur, while animal-free, is made from plastics that pollute and persist in the environment. Microfibers from synthetic garments enter waterways, raising new ecological dilemmas. The debate is complex. Animal welfare versus plastic pollution, tradition versus sustainability. There's no simple answer. Each choice has consequences for animals and the planet. Today, fur divides cultures and the fashion world. For indigenous peoples, fur remains vital for survival, culture, and income. Anti-fur campaigns can threaten these traditions, highlighting cultural tensions. In high fashion, many luxury brands have gone fur-free, embracing faux fur for ethical and business reasons. Others, like Fendi, defend real fur as natural, sustainable, and a mark of craftsmanship. Certified farms and higher welfare standards are promoted as responsible alternatives. The runway is split and some shows ban fur, others celebrate it. Wearing fur is now a personal statement, reflecting values and beliefs. The modern fur world is a tapestry of tradition, rebellion, and protest. A single garment can carry a world of conflicting meanings. Fur's allure goes beyond fashion. Some are drawn to its sensual, tactile qualities. Fur fetishism is a private fascination rooted in the feel and texture of the material. Literature like cemented fur's association with erotic power. Hollywood and advertising have long played on fur's sensual appeal. Today, online communities connect those who share this interest. For them, fur is about sensation, not status or ethics. This niche highlights the deep psychological connections we form with materials. Fur's power to evoke emotion extends far beyond the surface. The story of fur mirrors humanity's evolution, from survival tool to symbol of power, luxury, and controversy. Fur drove exploration, built empires, and shaped societies. Modernity brought fur farming, synthetics, and a fierce ethical debate. Today, fur is at the center of passionate arguments: tradition versus progress, animal welfare versus environmental impact. For some, it's cruel vanity. For others, a cultural cornerstone or a sustainable craft. Even alternatives like faux fur raise new environmental questions. The debate plays out in politics, fashion, and personal choices. Fur remains one of the world's most contentious materials. It forces us to confront our values, our relationship with animals, and the legacy we leave. The story of fur is far from over. Its meaning is still being written.